the cowl, even though you don't have to do it on the cowl. Sorry, let me make sure that it's still showing here. All right, so if you can see my hands, this is the cowl. I'm going to show a couple different techniques. One is the make one left that's used, and how I remember how to do that. And then I'm also going to show you the decrease that's used and show you the chart so we can talk more about that. So first, the make one left, you'll have to do these in the chart right after you do, I think it's after you the ribbing before you get into the chart, but it doesn't matter. This is how I remember to do a make one left. So for make one left, we're going to use the bar that's between the stitches. So for make one left or right, you use that bar, but you pick it up a little bit differently. So my little like trick to remember it is I say, I left the front door open, so I'll be right back. And that reminds me that when I'm doing a left increase, I make one left, I left the front door open. So I'm going to go into the bar from the front. So I'm going to take my left needle and go into the bar from the front and lift up that bar. Okay, since I went into the front, I always want to twist this stitch. And so since I'm in the front, if I went into the front here, you can see that it would leave a really big hole. So since I want to twist it always, I'm going to knit into the back of that stitch. And that makes a nice twist. And once we get farther along, it will be very less visible and it will slant a little bit off to the left. All right, just for completeness, so you can see what I mean by going into the front. If I was going to be doing a right increase, then I would say I'm going to be right back because I left the front door open. So I would come into that stitch from the back, and then I still want to twist it. So I would go into the front here to make it twist. Okay, but this pattern has only left increases. So I don't know if we can like see those well here. Yeah, I guess here's some of, well, Laura's also knitting this the opposite direction. So actually, I'm not going to like zoom into hers.
No, don't zoom into that. I just realized that I make one right.
It's okay. Anyway, that is the make one left. Go, you left the front door open. So you go into the front and then you make it twist. So that's how we remember to do it. And that is the make one left stitch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take that out because I can, and it's recorded. So you can go back and look if you want to. The next stitch that I'm going to talk about is the decrease stitch. Now this decrease that she's using is it's where you take 3 stitches and you go into 1 stitch. And so what she does here is it's called an S2KP. So you're going to slip 2 stitches knitwise, and you're going to slip them individually. So slip, slip, and then knit the stitch, and then take the 2 stitches that you just, oh, actually, sorry, I think I did that wrong. Instead of slipping them individually, you're going to slip them together as if you were going to like knit them together. So slip 2 stitches like that, like you're going to knit them together. So slip those 2 together, then knit your stitch, and then take those 2 slipped stitches and pull them over your knit stitch. And you see how by doing that little arranging, it left that center stitch in front. And then the other 2 stitches are kind of falling behind. And so that's going to give us a nice ridge. And I'll show you a picture, a nice ridge that will lead up on your decreases. And also, I have a trick. So I'm going to show you my trick of how to do this center decrease. Let's see, I'm going to take that out and get my stitches back here. Okay. So let's do this one again. So for my, I don't know, quick and easier way to do it, I will go into the stitches like I'm going to knit, but instead of slipping them off, I'm going to come behind and go into that next stitch through the back loop. And then I'll wrap my yarn around either way if you use, and then it seems like kind of would be a gobbledygook mess, but it's really easy to pull your needle back out, kind of weaving it through the way it went in, and then slip those off, and we have accomplished the same thing. So you see I still have that middle stitch that's in the front. The other 2 stitches are coming behind, and it's going to make a nice chain. But instead of having to do that slip and then pass the stitches over, I just did that kind of knit 2 together and then grabbed the stitch from the back and did it that way. So anyway, that's just a little trick for another way to do it if you want to. But now I'm going to share my let's see, I'll stop that. And then I'm going to share my screen so I can show you the chart, because there's one more, thing that might make you say, what's going on here with the chart. And let me see if I can share that. All right, so I can share, I think I can share this. Yep. Is it sharing my screen?
Yes.
All right, good. So in this chart, I don't know if can you see my pointer on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so you see here, this is the chart. These are the decreases, this 3 into 1. But you can see after we do a decrease, there's blank squares on either side of this decrease. And that's because you're getting rid of 2 squares. But in order to keep the the pattern looking right, they want to take those stitches out from here so that their chart can kind of look the same. So that's why there's like blanks in between. But as you're reading this chart, if you're on row 11, you're only using red yarn. So you have all these red stitches, then you don't even worry about them. There's just nothing there. And then you'll do a decrease, and then you'll have more red stitches. So don't let this no stitches throw you off, I guess is my point. And then if you can see here, you can see this nice line of ridges that are going in those decreases. And that kind of makes some of the design. I'm going to show Laura's sample too, but.
And I did this wrong too, clearly.
It's not.
It's more careful when I knit my sample.
Wrong. It's just different. So I'm gonna stop that for a second.
I knit my 3 to 1 decreases slightly differently, and so it doesn't show the ridge. It shows the kind of the way the stitches work together in a triangle.
Yes, but
so that
still looks
center
beautiful.
stitch doesn't pop in front because I held it a little further back. See, I know what you're gonna say.
It still looks beautiful. I'm going to show you. So the key is consistency, right? Because if we look really closely, she doesn't have the ridges going up like the pattern has, because just of the way she did that decrease. So let's see if I can find a good decrease. You still have the decrease. It still looks good, but instead of,
because that's where it's showing
on the white stitch.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't see the detail on the red stitch. You're fine in the white section.
Okay, yeah. So it's better here, right? So the stitch that's in the middle is towards the back on this one. But since she's consistent, it looks, it still looks beautiful and perfect. So that is the moral of the story, is just, choose one way and be consistent. But if you do it where that center stitch is in the front, then you will get those ridges that are leading in, and it leads in, it makes the flower that's got 7 petals. So there's 7 decreases. And it also works nice that the decrease is in the middle of your, of where I would place my stitch markers for the motif. So the decrease is in the middle. And so I think that's nice that your stitch markers can stay there as your circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So let's take a pause there and do the we can do
at least one of the $20 gift cards tonight.
Yes.
Okay, so open your chat windows. I'm trying to think, because I haven't heard all of these answers mentioned, so some of them you would have had to have been here last week. So I'll start with what is the name of this pattern? Okay, and it looks like number one sent it to me in a direct message, but it's E. Kelly. So E. Kelly, you're our winner. And TOW stands for water. Go ahead and message Zen Yarn Garden, and she will get you your $20 gift card, and that can be used also with the discount code tonight to purchase the kit if you would like to. So I will say that the trickiest part about the TAM as opposed to the COWL is that the COWL is knit in around over the same number of stitches throughout the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So the TAM differs slightly because of the way it's shaped, and also because it's a hat. So you are starting with a certain number for the ribbing, and then you're increasing a little bit to work your color work chart. And then you are kind of increasing again and doing kind of a turning ridge so that you get kind of your flat top on the TAM. And then you are basically doing decreases in your circle. So you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and your color work is working in such a way that it's creating a pattern on the top that's really interesting. And when you look at the charts, it's a little hard to tell that that's what it's going to look like because of the fact that it's decreasing in a circular motion. So I would recommend when you start with these two patterns that maybe you start with the COWL, because particularly if you're new to color work, that will give you a feel for color work and catching your yarns and kind of practicing your floats and your tension and those kinds of things. And then moving into the TAM, because it's not that the knitting on the TAM is really that much more difficult. It's basically the same thing, but you are increasing and decreasing stitches along the way. And so you will have to sort of change your needles. The other thing that we talk about is when you're working on the top of the hat, at some point you're going to have to change to a different set of needles, or a different, unless you're working magic loop, you will have to change to achieve the decreases at the smallest part, much the way you would if you're working on just a regular hat, where you change to double points or you change to magic loop, so that you can kind of knit in the round in small circumferences.
Yes. Yep. And so I'll go over that a little bit too. And also one point that is that when you're doing these decreases, there are points where you're still doing that color work. And so I think Laura did a really good job. I'm going to show her. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, you're going to flip it inside out? I was going to say,
yes,
if you show the back, I did it correctly.
You did it really good. Yes. So the one point is that when you're up in the crown and you're doing the decreases, you're still having some color work. And so I'm just going to show you right here. You can see that Laura was knitting with all this red. It was a lot of red. And there was a decrease kind of in the middle. And so she caught her yarn on either side of the decrease. So I think that's a good thing to remember, is right before you do the decrease, make sure you catch your yarn, and then do the decrease and then do it again. And that will help your yarn stay like around the corners instead of just, cutting off the corner. It's okay. Like as she got closer, there were some times when it's okay to cut off the corner, but if you have like a really long one, you would want to make sure you catch it. Otherwise you'd have like some floats overlapping, and it might get a little bit more messy. So that's just one little pointer there.
Well, I don't know what you discussed last week in terms of catching floats. I never let my floats go more than 5, and usually I try and keep it at 2 or 3. So okay. In a lot of places, like around the decrease, basically I had 5 stitches and then I turned it into 3 stitches, which is why I kind of caught right before and right after, because I thought about it as I was starting with those 5 in the middle. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go over more than 5 stitches.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that as being kind of the rule of thumb is about 5 mm-hmm. stitches or 1 inch. If you're doing like a super bulky thing, you might want to do a little bit more than 5 stitches, but yeah, usually 5. So if you have 5 stitches, then you would put a catch at like the 3rd stitch so that it's in the middle of those 5 stitches. Yeah, so that's just something like to keep in mind as you're working in these decreases, is where you're gonna catch those floats. And all right, the other thing I wanted to kind of mention and show you is just working in with magic loop, or, you know, going down to double points is fine too, but I'm kind of in the middle of a round here. You can see my loop off to the side because I'm doing this kind of, I call it like half magic loop, where I just have one loop at the beginning of the round. And the cowl is big enough that you can do that. And probably the TAM is too at the beginning. But once you get to the smaller decreases, you're going to have to do full on magic loop. And so I can show you a little bit what full on magic loop looks like. Maybe let's see if we can do it. So in full on magic loop, you would have a loop off to like halfway through, and then you'd have another loop here. So I have a little bit of a short needle, so I'm just gonna show it to you a little bit. But you could see I'd have my loop off to the side, and then I'd have another loop on the other half of the needles. And then you can work around. If you're
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was just going to say is that if you decide to magic loop the top of the hat, I will tell you that there are 7 pattern repeats. So right. The easiest way to do that is probably to break it up in 4 pattern repeats and 3 pattern repeats. Right. I know normally you kind of want to go half and half, but right. it's easier to keep your repeats separate. So it's okay that you'll have slightly different amounts of stitches on each right. section exactly. of the needle. Yep.
So make your loops come out like Laura said, at a repeat at where you would have a marker at your centers, and then that keeps it, because the decrease is in the middle. That will keep you not having to like rearrange a whole lot. So even like right now, when I did it, I have a lot more stitches down here than I do up here. So remember, that's okay. It's just, you know, that you've got to split it. It can be that you have 3 repeats on one and 4 repeats on the other, and that works. That's fine.
Well, and this one does end like a hat in the sense that you pull the thread through the last few loops. There's no Kitchenering or anything at the top, so you don't need your needles to be even.
Right. Right. So, and then, you know, sometimes if I'm getting into a really small circumference, I will use an even longer loop. So I just got out this longer one, and I'm going to try and show, I hope this makes sense. Let me know if it really doesn't, but, so what I'll do is I'll have a loop out here, but I might have like 3 loops. So I might split it into thirds or into fourths in a different way, so that it's almost like then having double points, where you would have, you know, I don't know how many double points you would use, like 3 or 4. If you know, I don't know, 3 or 4, Laura, would you do like 2 repeats on most of them and then 1 repeat on 1 double point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so either that or depending on the length of your double points. Because this is worsted weight, I would say if you have a set of 5 double points, I would do 2, 2, and 1, because it's worsted weight yarn, so it's going to be thicker. If you only have 4, then I would do 2, 2, and 3, and just be careful on the 3, or maybe grab some stitch stoppers on 3 so that you can put them over the ends of the needle just in case.
Yeah. Or if you have a really long circular needle, you can do more, you can pull out more than just 2 loops. So you'd have some kind of crazy looking thing that would be like this, and you would just knit across until you got to a loop, and then pull your needle to create another loop, and then start on that section, and then have more than just 2 loops, if that makes sense. So, all right, I also was going to save just one more little time if anybody is interested in seeing that catch again, or if there is any questions. I know last time we packed a lot in, but are there any questions, or raise a hand, or put in a chat if you want to see that catch again in any particular way. Otherwise, we have it all recorded, so you can always go back and look. But if there's any questions, I think we did have a question last time about, you know, if you're kind of carrying yarn up, and And I said, you can do that twist on twist again, but also I wanted to mention, like, I don't always do that. If it's just like I'm carrying one strand up, sometimes I do just do one twist. And then, you know, I kind of manipulate the yarn to do that one twist going up.
Pamela said she'd like to see the catching again, so we can do that.
Okay, I will do the catching again. Also, what was one more? I think I had one more question.
Well, I think I carried the yarn up a couple times, particularly in the, I was going to say particularly in the TAM, because there are sections of red and sections of white. There were some points where I did only use one color and I carried the other color up. And I don't know whether I twisted it. To be honest, I may not have.
Yeah, you might not need
mostly
to.
I drop and keep going and then pick it back up. And there aren't that many rows where it would be like more than one row.
Yeah, I can see it in here. I don't know. Maybe I'll put my down camera
towards the top where a couple rows of just red.
Yeah. So here it looks like, yeah, you didn't really need to twist it because it just went up and then you could keep going with it. And maybe here, but so. Yeah, you just got to kind of see what the right thing is. All right, but I will show you that catch again. Let's see where I am here. I'll just knit and unknit. So I'm not going to really be doing whatever the pattern says here, but let's pretend that I need to knit 5 stitches with white. So I'm going to knit 2 stitches, and then on the 3rd I'm going to catch it. So I'm going to go into the stitch, and instead of just knitting it, I'm going to make sure that I have my green one coming forward, my teal one, and then grab the white one and bring it through. So I kind of twisted, but then this time I'm going to untwist, and untwisting is kind of easy. But I make sure that this yarn is now in front, this teal yarn is now in front, and then grab the yarn again. And then you can see if once you knit farther, you can't see that catch at all on the front side. So that's really good. And it did twist and untwist my yarn so that I don't have to like keep spinning my balls around each other or, you know, untwisting constantly. So, all right. So if I do it when I'm, focus. Okay, so now on this one, I'll catch it. So say I've been just working with this white one, and now I want to catch the yarn, so I can go into the stitch and kind of bring this yarn, bring the green one to the top, and then wrap and grab it. And then on the next one, I will bring my yarn back over the top of that white one and then catch it. Oops, I did not go into the stitch, and then catch it. So again, that was it looks like this on the back. It was kind of a twist and then an untwist, so that you keep things nice and neat. Or, you know, if you're doing the two-handed one, then you could be holding one yarn in your left hand and one yarn in your right hand. Let's untwist those first. Okay, and so in that case, you would want to twist on this stitch. So I would bring this yarn like all the way, is it all the way over, and then grab the yarn and then bring it back and keep knitting. And make sure that I didn't keep it in front or anything. You want to make sure that it does stay hidden back there. And you don't have like a little line in front of your stitch. But those are all the ways that we covered last time to do it. So I hope that is a little brief summary there. And any other questions?
I don't see any yet. I'm going to remind you that the kit can be purchased. The discount code is good until September 28th, which is tomorrow night. You have to use the code that I've put in there. It's a bunch of numbers and letters, and that will get you 15% off. Plus you'll get free shipping, $49 and over to the US and Canada. I do have one more gift card to give. So let's do a trivia question. I will take the third person. My husband's outside bringing the trash cans back in, and it caught my attention because he's got the big yellow one up.
We can't hear.
Sorry. So the question is, what weight of yarn does this pattern use? Okay, I said I'd take the third person, which is Leslie Flaherty. So you can go ahead and message Zen Yarn Garden, and she will get you your $20 gift card. If you guys have other questions for us, we can hang out for another couple minutes. Otherwise, you can find all of these recordings when you go back to knit. You can find them all on our Tutorial Tuesday channel, which is on YouTube. And we do record all of our sessions. So when you go back and go, oh no, I forgot how to catch my floats, you can go back and watch Suzanne teaching you how to catch your floats. So, and I know why you got through last week, because I did not interrupt and talk.
I don't know, it was a lot last week. I felt like, but it was a hard, concept.
We don't have any future Tuesday tutorials scheduled yet. We will definitely have more this fall. We're putting together some, I know we have some new patterns in the works. We have some new samples in the works, and we will probably pick a few smaller items like we did last year to focus on for gift knitting. But we don't have anything concrete yet. We need to talk about that.
Give us some suggestions too, if you want.
Yeah, if there's anything you'd really like to see, or a technique you'd like demonstrated, or some kind of object that you'd like to see us talk about, we could certainly work that in. So
yes, I'm working hard. I have some designs coming up. I just need to get them out.
And I'm in the middle of one sample, and then I actually have another one to cast on as soon as I'm done with that one. So yeah, we definitely have things coming. I just don't know if we're quite ready yet.
Yay. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Keep an eye out. We do have a knit along coming up for this shawl. Oh, I don't know if I can grab it yet. The one with the leaves. So keep an eye out for that, and join us. That will be a fun one.
Okay, and it looks like we got a couple ideas, something on mosaic knitting and one skein smaller projects for gifts or baby items. So
yes, I do have a new mosaic pattern coming. So,
oh, that's right. That would be perfect for it.
We can do that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Good night.